Teresa, welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me here today. Today we're going to be gel printing and we're going to be mixing our media. I've covered using various different individual products before now. Today I'm going to show you how easy it is to combine both Distress Oxide inks and acrylic paints and a bit of stamping and a bit of collage. We're going to create some really fun backgrounds like these, and then we're going to turn them into some finished artist trading cards that look like this. Really simple process, great fun, ideal for both beginners and experienced printers alike. So I'm going to move these out of the way, get set up, and I'll show you exactly what you need to get started. As always, I shall begin by giving you a quick rundown of what we're using today. And because today is all about mixing your media and showing that you don't just have to use inks, you don't just have to use paints, you don't just have to use stamps, you can use all of these things together. So we've got a few bits and pieces. I am using the largest of the gel plates that I own. This is my 8 by 10 inch Jelly Arts gel plate. I'm using that way I can just do two big backgrounds and cut them down to size. If you've got a smaller plate, that's fine, just make more of them. You know, it's really entirely up to you. But today, for speed, obviously you don't want to watch me make 4 backgrounds in the same process, so I'm just going to make a couple of them using this. I am going to be working on some watercolour cardstock. This has got a slight texture to it. It's not overly heavy. I think this one's about 200 GSM, which is about £90, I think. I'm backing it onto another piece of card anyway, so I'm not concerned that it's not my sort of super heavyweight, very expensive watercolour card. This will be absolutely fine. But I do recommend using something that will take water, because there is going to be sort of quite a wet mixture of the oxide inks and water. So watercolour card, a good mixed media cardstock, something like that would be ideal. As I said, we're going to be using some inks. I'm going to use Distress Oxides today in the background for the first layer or two. And because it's spring, we're nearly at Easter, I'm choosing some really sort of pretty spring Eastery colours. So I've got squeezed lemonade, ripe persimmon, salty ocean, picked raspberry, cracked pistachio and shaded lilac. Really nice colours. Not too wishy-washy. I hope they're vibrant enough that we're going to get some colour there, but I didn't want to use the really bright primary or the darker ones, so I've chosen those. I'm going to be using some acrylic paint. Probably going to mainly just be using black and white. I've got the Arteza tubes of acrylic colour here. I'm undecided if I want to put some metallic in this. I really do fancy a little shot of gold. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet. So I've got out some gold acrylic paint in case I want to use that. I've also got some gold acrylic ink here in case I just want to splatter a little bit of gold. I'm going to be doing a bit of stamping, so I may indeed actually use a bit of gold embossing powder. I'm keeping an open mind. We'll see how it goes. I always like to keep an open mind with gel printing projects because it's unpredictable, because you don't quite know what you're going to get until you're actually in the process. I like to sort of leave a bit of leeway that I can change my mind one way or the other as I'm going through it. I'm using a couple of stencils. I've just chosen some generic designs here because they're for sort of background. I've got this one here. I am racking my brains to remember the name of the company that I got this from. I know it's a US company. If I remember it, there'll be a caption. If there's no caption, it means I never remembered the name. But it is sort of a fairly generic design here. They look a little bit like coffee beans to me. But you could use circles, something like that, something quite straightforward. I've got this one here. This is a deco art one. I know that because it says Americana Decor in the corner. And the number for it is 201606 if you want to go and see if it's still available. But again, it's a fairly sort of generic background design. So use whatever stencils that you've got, choose a couple of your favourites and use those. As I said, I'm probably going to do some stamping. I've decided to have a rummage and find something I haven't used for a long time. And this set of background stamps here, they're red rubber background stamps. They are actually ATC sized, which is really nice for the projects that I'm doing today. You can use any sort of background design, it really doesn't matter. But these are from a UK company called Artful Days. their website, www.artfuldays.co.uk. This set of stamps is still available. I've had a little look on there. I will pop a link down below in the description if you want to go and take a look. And I am pretty sure that Jules ships overseas as well. So if you're not in the UK and you're willing to pay the overseas shipping, I'm pretty sure that you would be able to get hold of these. But again, use whatever stamps you've got, whatever backgrounds you've got. If you haven't got background stamps, you can always doodle some background designs in if you need to. The final thing that I will be using to finish off these ATCs is some sort of collage elements. And today I'm probably going to be using these quirky ladies here. These are downloadable printables from Elena Zinsky. I'm hoping I'm saying her name right. If it's Elena, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to call you Elena. Her shop on Etsy, I believe it's Zinsky Art. She's got lots of printable designs on there. She also designs stamps for Paper Artsy, designs rubber stamps for those. This set is really cute, these little quirky faces. In the set, we got this sheet of pre-coloured images. This set as well, where they're the same images, but they're in a background, in like a little oval cameo design. You also get the line art to colour in yourself for both sets. And there is also like a little bonus sheet in there that has some little quotes and doodled elements as well. Probably shan't be using that set, but I thought I'd print everything out just so you could see what you get. The black and white I've just printed on some white cardstock. I could either watercolour those or colour with markers. The pre-coloured images, I've actually printed these onto some just matte sticker paper just to make it quick and easy. Because I'm feeling lazy, I shall just cut these out and stick them on because they're really, really cute as they are. But we'll get on to that in a bit. I know you're all probably eager to see me start. And we're going to begin by creating our abstracty watercolour layered Distress Oxide backgrounds using the gel plate. So to begin with, I'm going to choose some colours and just going to apply my ink to the plate. I'm going to spritz a little bit of water on here. I'm going to take my piece of watercolour cardstock and press it down on there to lift some colour up. Like so. We can let it run and drip a little bit. I think actually I'll use the same one again. I'll pick some more of this ink up on that side and just continue. Just to pick a little bit more of that excess off there. I'm going to wipe that excess off now with a paper towel. Just give it a little bit of a clean off. I'm going to put some more on and create a similar layer on my other piece of watercolour cardstock. Once that first layer is almost dry, you can think about doing a second layer.
I got an ache inside of me. It's a deep hole where I bleed. Oh, can I seal it? You're like an ocean without land, not a single grain of sand. I'm drifting on it. So cold yet warm. When you hold me, when you close, I know, I'm a lost case, I'm a mess. But everything feels a little bit.
Now you can continue this as much as you want. I'm going to do another layer and try and get a little bit extra ink along the edges of my page, as well as just sort of building up layers in the middle. And we'll see what we've got after another round of printing.
A little bit lighter with you. Something's letting me heal. You're making it brighter right through the gray.
So I think I'm happy with the amount of ink that I've got on my pages. I'm going to wash my hands off, clean down my table, remove my mat, and I'll show you what they look like at this point before we start moving on to adding more media. So these are the two backgrounds that we've created. Now, because these are Distress Oxide inks, I think I'm just going to spritz a little bit of water, drip a little bit of water on to see if I can just get some more random patterning in there. Now I could actually spray, but I would prefer to get some sort of bigger individual blobs of water. So I'm just going to use the stick out of my spray bottle just to sort of drip some bigger water splashes on here. And just see if we can't get a little more interest in our background layers. So we'll give that a moment to sort of react with the inks and see if we can't lift out some colour. So as you can see, we get a little bit extra mottling here. It shows up more where we've got darker colours over lighter colours. So that's that for the distress inks. Now we're going to get on to doing a couple of layers using the acrylic paint. So I can get my now clean gel plate back again. And I can get my stencils. And I'm just trying to decide what I'm going to do, and I think I'm going to apply some white paint rather, through this one. So I've just got, this is just like a non-stick craft mat just to the side. I can pop a bit of acrylic paint on there. Get some onto my brayer. Just repeat this process. take one of my inked backgrounds, and pull up some paint onto my background. So I'm going to repeat this process a couple of times. So probably just speed this up. And then I'm going to use the other stencil and some black paint.
Hope it's the last thing that I need. Wanna feel something that's real. With you I get that. You're like a lighthouse in a dream. Really distant but your beam is guiding me home. So cold yet warm. When you hold me, when you close, I know I'm a lost case, I'm a mess. But everything feels a little bit lighter with you. Something's letting me heal. You're making it brighter right through the gray.
And here are my finished large background sheets. I decided to just splatter a little bit of the gold acrylic ink on. I hope you can see just a few little speckles here and there. Really happy with this. I like using the gel plate and the Distress Oxides in this way. I know you can apply them onto a non-stick mat and pick them up in the same way. I do find they sort of seem to stay a bit more in place on the gel plate. I don't know, they tend to pool up quite a lot on a non-stick mat. But again, if you've got a gel plate, it's just another way of using it and then going on and adding the acrylic layers over the top. So I'm going to trim these down into ATC sizes and going to add on a little bit of the stamping, going to add on the collage images, the little quirky faces, and I shall be back to show you what they look like. And here are my finished artist trading cards. I love how fun these have turned out, bright and colourful. The background's perfect for these little quirky printables that I've put on them. I chose two of the background stamps that I showed you earlier. One of them has this like little starburst design on, and the other one has little apples on, and I've just stamped them. I've used VersaFine Clair ink pads, have those in a selection of colours, and I've just used those to stamp over the top of my trimmed ATCs. Then I've cut out my printable that I'd put onto sticker paper and finished just with one of those little Tim Holtz chit chat words, one of the seasonal ones. So we have this lovely one here with the word celebrate. This lady here, she's happy, so of course had to choose happy. I have always and friends, blessing, fun. I love her with a little cupcake on the top of her head. Really, really nice image, that one. Remember and forever. Really happy with how these have come out. As I say, an artist trading card, for those of you that don't know, 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. So I've trimmed my backgrounds down to just a little less than that, so that when I popped it on a piece of black cardstock, I got this border. I've created those. I still have a whole pile of backgrounds. I just cut up those two that we did, and I've got all of these left to use in more ATCs. And as I say, these are really, really nice. You can turn these into little mini cards in themselves. I think I've got one here actually I could show you. Again, I was using the same background stamps a while ago. It just made them into little tiny cards. Really, really nice. Or indeed, if you've got, say, a 6x4 card, they're perfect size for a card topper. But I shall probably just trade them or stick them into packages that I send out to people in the post, just as a little bit of extra art. So hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it's sort of allowed you to see how easy it is to mix your media together and use lots of different products at once. Again, as always, hope the finished ATCs have shown you some ideas on what you can do with the backgrounds that you've created. So as always, if you enjoyed it, please leave me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you hadn't already. And please do check out the links below if you are interested in anything that I've used today. But for now, that's all. Bye.